Hello and welcome to the United Stand. Stoke City versus Manchester United. The Premier League is back and we're on the countdown to real football after this international break is done. Thank goodness for that. Stoke versus Manchester United. Without further ado, let's get straight into how I think Manchester United will line up in this game. Mkhitaryan, was that a hint, a purposeful hint from Jose Mourinho yesterday that Mkhitaryan needs to do more in the big games? Because do you go into this Stoke game with the same formation, the same strategy of playing Mata and Mkhitaryan with a midfield two away from home? We've not won at Stoke for a while. One thing about Mark Hughes is he's always bitter against United, always raises the game against United. I don't know why, because he did used to play for United, but he always raises the game. He'll have them set up like it's a cup final. And can we get away with playing a midfield two against Stoke? I think we'll go like this. I think this is how we will go. Will Fellaini be the one who comes in, but effectively a 4-3-3. Lukaku up front. Yeah, Le Pen's here, don't worry about that. Rashford and Mata providing the width, but a midfield three which involves Fellaini, Matic and Pogba to bolster us in the midfield really. I'd be amazed if he plays Mata and Mkhitaryan and just goes with a midfield two there. There is another option that I quite liked myself. If you know, I don't think he's going to do this by any means, but he did do it in the pre-season. So how about a back three of Bailly, Jones and Blind, Darmian and Valencia as your sort of fullbacks, still having Matic and Pogba in a midfield three, but Herrera there, Mkhitaryan, Lukaku up front. I mean, I don't think he'll do that, but just to give you an idea how you can fit Mkhitaryan in there. I mean, Danny Zack says it's got to be Herrera instead of Fellaini. I've just got a funny feeling, Robbie Jones, a cold, wet, windy day in Stoke. I just think Fellaini, Louise O'Donoghue's not happy about it as well. Tube saying Mkhitaryan's got to start, but I would not be surprised if that is the lineup. And Fellaini's been coming on ahead of Herrera, so why would Herrera come into the team? I'm all for Herrera playing. I'm all for Herrera playing, 100%. Let's go with that. But Zushas says he'll go with a 3-5-2. I don't think he will. This is our little tactical pad here that I can play around with for you. So, I mean, this is if it's the 4-3-3 as I suspect it will. You'd have Matic moving around in these areas. Jesse plays up. This is, I mean, I'm not 100% this is how Stoke will line up. It's more or less how they played in the last game. This lad could well be Diouf. In fact, I think I've got Diouf and Peters mixed up. But Cameron, they sort of play full wing backs. You've got Zuma, Shawcross and Indy as a back three. Lukaku's going to act, you know, Lukaku's going to have his game cut out because Shawcross, Zuma and Indy, very, very physical back three for Lukaku to operate against. And I think this is where Pogba would become very important. Thinking about, there's a hint here, physicality. They are a physical team, Stoke. We're away from home. Do you want to just play Pogba and Matic, pretend Fellaini's Mkhitaryan? You've got a lot of players in that team if you do that who, you know, matter. Obviously, if that's Mkhitaryan, I mean, there's nothing wrong with Rashford actually, but you know what I mean? It's a little bit lacking in physicality. And Stoke, when you look at that lineup of Stoke there, Shaqiri apart, it is workmanlike. Joe Allen, Fletcher, Peters, Indy, Shawcross, Zuma. It's a work. They are back to being a physical side, and I think that's why United will go with the three. And what a three that is! Physicality, Fellaini, Pogba, and Matic. And what we'd be looking for is basically Matic to step up when we're on the attack and occupy Joe Allen, and Pogba to move into these positions. That means they've got to come out. He's got to go with him, and Lukaku can get exposing these two centre-backs. You've got to pull one of the midfield three out, and Mkhitaryan, I think, in this sort of game, would get exposed. So that's why I think he'll go with a three. And again, Fellaini gives you more physicality than Herrera does, and Pogba would have to be getting forward and supporting Lukaku, otherwise he's going to get swamped. I don't know why I've called Daily Blind Bling. Maybe he's going to wear some Hotline Bling, I don't know. But Blind against Shaqiri could be a bit of a mismatch. This player, he is a danger, and he will look to come inside here, get in here, and Blind's going to have to keep to him very, very tightly if he plays as a back three. But Jesse, he's not different. He's not massively different to an Artovic, who they've sold to West Ham. Scored against Arsenal, obviously. Their last time out, Stoke lost the first game at Everton, beat Arsenal at home, and then they've drew away to West Brom. So not a tip, you know, they've not conceded many goals. 2 goals in 3 games. They're a well-disciplined physical outlet, and that is why I never thought I would be speaking to you about this, saying let's play a 4-3-3, let's play Fellaini, let's drop Mkhitaryan, let's not play Herrera. But for the first 60 minutes, and let's just remember that, for the first 60 minutes of this game, that is how I would be lining up. And I would be wanting Paul Pogba to be part of a midfield 3 when we're defensive, but when we're on the attack, getting into these positions, Matic stepping up a bit, Mata tucking in, Rashford going into there. That's how we'll have to do it on the attack. But I think for the first hour, especially against Stoke, we're away from home. As I've said so many times, let's grind these games out away from home. I think Stoke City away, if we get 3 points, we've got to keep the momentum from this international break. If we can keep the momentum and get the 3 points in this game, these are the sort of 3 points that define whether you're going to be title contenders. And last season, we came back from an international break with 9 points. We lost to City. Okay, you can expect, City's a difficult game. But we then lost away to Watford. And I think this is our Watford game after the international break in many ways. That can we go to Stoke, or are we going to go like we did to Watford and lose? And we can't be overwhelmed. The crowd will be up for it. They were up for it against Arsenal. Arsenal lost there. We need to prove now that we can go to places like Stoke and win games. And I know people will go, oh, I want Martial to start instead of Rashford. I want Mkhitaryan to start. I want Herrera to start. But this is a game. You've got to treat every game as a game. And when I mean everyone will know what I mean by that. But you've got to treat the game what it is, the scenario, what it is in front of you. Physical Stoke side. They don't have as much talent as they used to have. They're a physical side. They're a hard-working side. We need to match up with that. And then let our ability, like the Pogbas and the Matic's and the Rashfords and the Matas of this world, shine through. I don't think this is the game for Mkhitaryan. I think it's too physical, and I think you need physicality in that midfield 3. And if Herrera plays over Fellaini, fantastic. But for one game, this is the sort of game where I would play midfield 3 of Matic, Fellaini, and Pogba, and fight with them for the first hour, and let's see what happens after that. But that's my thoughts on that. Let's see what everyone else thinks. Lots of people watching. They're all coming back for the football, which is great. Good to have you back. Remember to drop a like on the video. My score prediction, people are saying, well, Daniel Speakman says it's going to be 4-1 to Manchester United. Daniel, we certainly could wash them away. We could win this game conclusively. But I would take 1-0. I'm very much in the seat, and I don't know about you lot now, but I'm very much in the seat of... Mourinho said it himself. I've got 3 sides at the moment. He's got 3 sides. And that's not meaning he's got 33 players that he can use. What he's meaning is he's got 3 different scenarios of setups that he can use. The start of the season, we saw it, a 4-2-3-1 effectively. On Saturday, we might see the 4-3-3. We know he likes to play the 3-5-2. So I think that potentially are the 3 formations that he's got. And I'm very excited about what we've got over the next few weeks between these international breaks. We've got 7 games across 3 tournaments. But the Premier League and the Champions League obviously are important. But the Premier League is where it's all at. We are the front runners in the Premier League at the moment. Let's not go on the first hurdle and lose the momentum. We go to Stoke at the weekend, we come away with 3 points, and no matter what anybody else does, the momentum's building, the players start to believe it. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. But Stoke, I look at that Stoke 11 that we were just looking at there, and I do not fear it. I don't fear it. Defensively, Shawcross, Indy, Zuma, they will be tough, and I think Lukaku's going to have a tough game. Butland's in form as a keeper. Their wing-backs, or whatever they call them, not in fear of them. Fletcher and Allen, decent Premier League midfielders, but Matic and Pogba should be able to boss them. And then up front, they've got a really new lad in Jesse. Shaqiri's decent, and I don't think their other lad, whoever they play there, is that good. So it's there for us to win. But this is why I call the French League a pub league, the Spanish League a pub league, and the German League a pub league. Not because they are effectively pub leagues, because there's some very good teams in there that can beat Manchester United, but because this is why the Premier League is so competitive, because, let's take La Liga. You go and play Atletico Madrid away, that's tough. But the vast majority of your games away from home, you'll expect to go and win 4-5-0. For United, wherever you go, and for most of the top teams, to be honest, it is going to be very, very difficult. Very difficult indeed. Anyway, I want to fly into some of your comments in a minute, but first of all, let me just remind you, now that the season is back up and running, as they say, We've got the link in the video description to our Premier League predictor. We've got our own league in the United Stand. It's called the United Stand League. You can join it, and it basically takes your average points over how many games you play. So you can join in at any time. We've currently got 1,500 people playing, and I'm going to show you the leaderboard because there are 1,500 playing. I'm sure there'll be a lot more because I'm sure a lot of you are going to sign up. But people were saying, oh, Goldbridge, you're not doing that well. 43rd I am, 43 out of 1,500. That's pretty good, and there's not loads of people stuck on the same point. So I'm very pleased with that. I told you I'm going to beat you all. 43rd I am at the moment with 23 points averaging. So how do you do it? Well, pretty easy, to be honest with you. Let me get my... you just got to pick your scores. Now I'm obviously not going to go... I'll do you the first one. I think this will end up 2-1. 2-1 between Manchester City and Liverpool. In fact, I'll probably go through more of that on the video I'm going to do after this lot. But basically, you'll get points for an exact score, but you'll also get points for if City win. So I think it works out at 2 points for an exact score, 1 point for if you get the score sort of right, sort of thing. And the great thing is this, it's not only a United Stand League that you can compete amongst the community of. Link in the video description. If you sign up like that, you will automatically be into the United Stand League. But they also offer up prizes. It's free to enter. There's no entry fees or betting or anything like this. It is free to enter. You can enter with the United Stand community. But look at that. If you get 6 correct scores, you win a team jersey of your choice. 7, £1,000. 8, 2,500. 9 scores, £5,000. 10 scores, 20,000. I tell you what, if any of you lot get 10 scores, I'll add £1,000 on that because you won't. But 21 grand will more than happily chuck £1,000 on that for you. So the link is in the video description. It's a bit of fun, and we're having a bit of fun with it, to be honest. I'm really enjoying it. So get involved. Link in the video description. United Stand Predictor League. It's not too late to join in with that. I'm just very happy that the Premier League's back. I hope you all are as well. Very, very happy. Philippe says he's not happy about the team I've gone with. We play football, not boxing. We play best players, not tallest. Do you think Philippe is right with that comment? I don't, Philippe. It's only my opinion. I think if we play Herrera and Mkhitaryan at the weekend, I'll be very excited about it for the same reasons you would be. But I want to win this Premier League. We've got a squad, and we can... I said this on Twitter the other week. Manchester United could bully their way to the title. There was a time we'd go to teams like Stoke and we'd be worried about the physical side of things. Eric Bailly, Lukaku, Pogba, Matic, 4 absolute beasts. Phil Jones is a beast. Valencia is a beast. You add in Fellaini if he starts. We can bully the physical teams physically, and then we can beat them on the ground because we've got the better players. I'm not bothered with that lineup. If you've joined late, I'll go back to it now. I'm not bothered if we play this lineup, this Matic and this Fellaini with Pogba supporting up front with Lukaku. He'll be here more, but supporting. I'm not bothered if we play that lineup if it means we beat Stoke at the weekend. I'm really not falling into this trap of, oh, let's play our most talented players every week. It's going to be a 60-game season when you take into account the Champions League, the League Cup and the FA Cup. And I want us to approach, especially in the Premier League, I want us to approach every game with a tactical plan as to who the opposition is. Not like Moyes and Van Gaal did, where they spend so much time pontificating about the opposition and trying to nullify their threats. That's not what Mourinho's doing. That's not what we're saying needs to be done. What we're doing is we're looking at what the opposition are, imposing our game on it, but not being bullied by them. So I'm more than happy with that. But I agree with what a lot of you are saying. If Herrera started in a midfield 3 and Mkhitaryan starts, I'll still be excited. But I'm not too fussed if we go a bit physical because we've got the better players to do it anyway. My score prediction, I'm going to go for United versus Stoke. Will we concede? We've not conceded a goal yet. I don't think we're going to concede. I think it will be 2-0. I think we'll get ahead and it'll be 1-0 for a long time and then we'll get the second goal. So I'm going to go 2-0 to Manchester United. But we can talk about little bets and everything like that a little bit later on. In fact, that just reminds me as well, we've also got a link in the video description. You can get Manchester United at 8-1 to win the title. Most places you'll be lucky to get it at 3-1. This is with 10bet. I've not put the link in the video description yet, so if you're watching live you can't do it, but come back, or if you are watching not live, the link will be in the video description for you to get that bet on. All you need to do is go in, sign up with 10bet, look at the markets for league titles. It will say 3-1, but because you're going through the United Stand link, it will send you an email after you've put the bet on saying it's been enhanced to 8-1. So that's a great offer. Put a tenner on it. It might be 80 quid in the bank. I'm confident United are going to win the league. I have been confident all along. Rahib said, should Rashford be starting over Martial? You know what? I think he should. And nothing to do with his England form. You could make the argument that Martial's not played international football, so he's fresher. Rashford's played 2 and we don't want to overplay him. But I think Martial will probably, you know, when you're talking about Stoke City roughing him up and stuff, I think Rashford suits it a little bit better than Martial. I think Martial last half an hour again would be good. So I'd opt for Rashford. But I love them both. Again, I'm not going to complain if Martial starts. The goalkeeper picks himself. The fullbacks pretty much pick themselves. I think Blind's going to have to be on his toes against Shaqiri because he's a little tricky player. And I don't know whether anyone remembers the Leicester game, but Mahrez did send Blind back to Holland a couple of times, so he needs to be careful about that. But Blind getting forward is probably the best deliverer of the ball we've got at the moment. So it's a 5:30 kickoff on Saturday. We'll be live at 4:30 with the watch along. So get involved with that. Camplancat says, I'd love to see Herrera start. Bring Martial on, says Summer Breathe. Rashford needs to start in this game, says Brian Caulfield. United fan says, damn, I'm late. Don't worry, because That's Football, which is the new channel that we're sort of doing a generic football channel with a few people at the moment. I'm actually going to do a video on there at 8:30. The link is in the video description. So when I finish that, if you click that link, go into the live comments, we'll be starting there. I am going to be talking a bit about United on there, but it's a Premier League preview. A few of you have asked us to do a Premier League preview on there, so we'll be talking about all the games. So if you're not aware about who's playing, the ramifications of the league, because there's a couple of big games happening this weekend, and I've got a little secret announcement for you on there as well. But we're on here at the moment. Mark, who do you think will score? I think Rashford, says the showstopper. I think it's been difficult for Lukaku to score at the weekend. Not impossible, but you know what? Lukaku, as you can see there, Lukaku against Indy, Shawcross and Zuma, they are all very, very physical. He needs support. This is the big reason I don't think Mkhitaryan should start unless he's going to play where Mata is. Because the player who supports, I'd even consider trying a different formation, because Lukaku against those three, I mean, he's physical, but there's physical and that's a mismatch. 3 physical players against 1, he'll struggle. So I think he needs the player to support him. You could even think about putting Fellaini up and making Pogba play a bit further back. I don't know what people think about that, but you know, I've got Pogba supporting here. But how's about, you know, Fellaini's the one getting forward and supporting, or even better, they sort of share that role in turn of getting off for Allen and Fletcher and supporting and making it more of a, you know, a 3-on-3. This is why I think it's so important that Mkhitaryan doesn't play centrally in this game as well as he's been playing, and Fellaini and Pogba play, because they are a physical back three, and we've got to fight fire with fire. And also, not really been mentioned that much, but where is the threat from Stoke? Well, it's here, and it's here, and it's crosses, and it's crosses, and these three will get up into this area when they can. And we need players who can deal with that. I'll be surprised if Fellaini doesn't start. Let me just put it that way. I really will. Yeah, I will be. Modern Mexican says Fellaini sucks. I hate him so much. Yeah, I sort of used to agree with that. But I think we're a squad this season and we've got to use the bigger squad. In fact, I was on BBC Red Manchester this evening. And they were asking me about who's the best sub for Manchester United. But I was the 3rd guest. So by the time I got on, they'd already, you know, people were using 2 up. Sophie, who's sometimes on our show, she was on. And they'd used Martial, Rashford, Zlatan and Fellaini. So I was asked who's the super sub. They've already mentioned them. So, you know, you'd have been laughing if you'd been listening, because I said Jesse Lingard. I couldn't think of anybody else who's an impact sub who hadn't been mentioned. But Lingard's in exactly the place he needs to be, on the bench. And as a bench player, as we saw against Leicester, he came on, he assisted Fellaini. Lingard could be very important over this season as well, because, you know, he's not a first-team player for Manchester United, but he gets it. He tries really hard. He has got an element of pace. He can sort of put a cross in. These players are going to be very important over a season. We know we're lacking a winger. We know we probably needed a bit more backup in the full-back positions, but actually the squad's not that bad. And our sole focus really should be on the Premier League, and this squad can win the Premier League. But it's oh so important, as I said a few minutes ago, that we get this game won on Saturday. Stoke City away, 3 points in that sort of game is what the champions of this league need to go and do. You've got to go and win at places like Stoke, like we've got to beat Everton the week after, and then we've got to go to Southampton and win as well. That's what we've got to do. 9 points from the next 3. We get 9 points from the next 3, and expectations are going to start to get really, really high. Really high. Link in the video description. Don't forget to sign up for the Premier League Predictor game. That will take you straight into the United Stand Premier League Predictor. You can win shirts, you can win cash prizes. It's free to enter. It's a Premier League Predictor. I'm 43rd out of 1,500 in our league at the moment. Can you catch me? I doubt it, but it's a good bit of fun, and we'll touch on it every week on the previews. I'm going to go. The one score I will give you is I think City will beat Liverpool 2-1, but I'm not going to give you the rest of them. Anyway, please do drop a like on the video if you do like the things we do on the preview, and I'm going to bring it more into the watch along as well when we know what the team news is. But this sort of thing, the ability to track players and movements for you and say, you know, this is where the, United are going to cause them problems and all that jazz. If you like that sort of tactical analysis that we can do for you, and obviously, as we know, I like the yellow pen. There's a Valencia cross for you. Look, well, it could be anywhere. Oh, he's hit me in the face. Anyway, I can't get it off. If you like all that jazz, do drop us a like. If you like the preview, drop us a like. And if you are new to the United Stand, make sure you subscribe. Bottom right hand corner. Really, really enjoyed it. Thanks everybody for watching for us. Remember, if you want to get Manchester United to win the league at 8-1, I'll put the, you won't get that odds anywhere. I'll put that link in the video description for you later as well if you want to come back for that. But we're not finished. It's a slightly shorter show because it's a preview. What we're going to do on a Wednesday night now is split it a bit. So I'm going to end this stream on the United Stand. There's a link in the video description, and it's called That's Football Premier League Preview Show, which if you click it, it will take you through to another live comments on That's Football channel, which is our new generic football channel. I'm going to do a general Premier League preview, which is interesting from a Manchester United point of view, because there are some games this weekend that I think are going to be quite impactful. So get over there. We'll be talking about that in about, well, 8:30. So 3 minutes time we'll be live on there. Link in the video description. See you on That's Football. Thanks everybody for getting involved with this show. Really, really, really enjoy. We'll be talking about Rooney on the preview, don't worry. Really, really like these previews and the ability to be able to use the pen and use the different formations. And you know, we've listened to your feedback over the summer. Some of you wanted a bit of an insight into how the opposition line up, etc. So really enjoy it. I hope you do. And I'll see you on That's Football in about 2 minutes time. Link in the video description with our Premier League preview. See you in a moment. There we are.